Good morning, student. Again, I am going to start the chapter second. Topic is national income and related aggregate. This is part 4. In this part, I will complete this chapter. Let me start. In this video, I will cover these topics. First is GDP at current year, GDP at constant price, GDP deflator, better indicator, real or nominal, limitation of GDP as indicator of economic growth, or GDP and welfare. But first of all, we will discuss that question that I had given in previous video as a homework. In this video, you have to calculate G and P while NDPFC is given. Let we understand how we get the answer. So in this question you have to calculate GNP MP. NDPFC has been given, its value is 7,000. Okay, when we are moving from net to gross, then we will add depreciation. When we are moving from domestic to national, then we will add NFIA. And when we will move from factor cost to market price, then we will add NIT. When we will put all these value, then we will get the answer that is equal to 7,600. Okay student, check your answer. If your answer is correct, so well done, keep it up. Let we attempt one more question. In this question, you have to find out NNP MP. Okay, and GDP MP had been given here. So I am giving you few minutes. At least you generate the equation to calculate this question. I think you had done. Okay, let me start. In this question, you have to calculate NNP MP while GDP MP had been given. So when we are moving from gross to net, then we will subtract depreciation. Okay, when we are moving from domestic to national, then we will add NFIA. Here is MP, here is MP, so there will be no requirement for any change. Okay, now here the value of depreciation is 5,000. NFIA is given minus 100. Okay, so this plus minus become minus. So in this way we will subtract 6,000 and we will get 44,000 as NNP MP. Okay student, we will do one more question. In this question you have to find out GDP FC. Okay, and what is given? GNP MP. So try to do yourself. Okay, at least generate the equation. I think you had done. Let me do. Okay, so we have to find out GDP FC. What is given? GNP MP is given. So here is also gross, here is also gross, so no change it require. But when we are moving from net to domestic, then we have to subtract NFIA. When we are moving from market price to factor price, then we have to subtract NIT. Okay, in the question the value of NFIA is not given, so we have to find out the value of NFIA using this equation. NFIA equal to factor income from abroad minus factor income paid abroad. So factor income from abroad is given 300 and factor income paid abroad is given 100. When we will subtract 100 from 300, then we will get 200 and we will put this value here. In this way we are able to get the answer. So GDP FC is equal to 280 crore. Okay student, now let me start today topic. So first, what is nominal GDP and real GDP. So let me start with the nominal GDP. What is nominal GDP? When we are going to calculate GDP at current price, then it is known as a nominal GDP. You will write the definition of GDP MP and just add this line as estimating using current year price. Okay, so there are two ways to write the meaning of nominal GDP. When GDP is calculated at current price, then it is known as a nominal GDP. Otherwise, write the definition of GDP MP and add this line. It is the market value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during an accounting year and estimated using the current year price. Okay, what is current year price? So current year price is that price at which we will purchase goods and services. Prevailing price is known as a current year price. Okay, and what is the equation here? Nominal GDP is equal to Q multiply P. Q means quantity of final goods and services produced during an accounting year, and P means privileged price, present price. Okay, student. Now, this nominal GDP is not the true indicator. Okay, that is why we require the concept of real GDP. Okay, so in one line, increase in nominal GDP, increase is possible when there is only increase in price. Means when there is no increase in quantity, still in this case there will be increase in nominal GDP. So in this way, nominal GDP is not the true indicator. There is not more production of goods and services and accounting year. If price is going to be more, then we get more amount of nominal GDP. That is why nominal GDP is not considered as a true indicator of social welfare. Okay, so nominal GDP does not eliminate the effect of change in price. So that is why we require the concept of real GDP. Let we understand it. So what is real GDP? When GDP is calculated at constant when GDP is calculated at constant price, then it is known as a real GDP. Okay, same way you will write the definition of GDP MP and add this line as estimated using the base year. Okay, constant price is known as a base year price. In 11th class, in the last chapter of statistic, we had learned about the index number. Okay, we had learned their base year and base price. So which year is taken as a base year? In the year there is less fluctuation, or a year which is normal year, that year we consider as a base year, and the price of that year is considered as a base year price. Okay, so how we find out any year as a normal year? In which year there is no problem of inflation or there is no problem of deflation. That is a normal year. Okay, so GDP, real GDP means when GDP is calculated at the constant price, at the basis of base year price. Okay, this is the equation. Real GDP equal to Q multiply P. P means base year price. Okay, so here is given why we require the concept of real GDP. Yeah, what is the importance of concept of real GDP? So here is given the drawback of nominal GDP. Nominal GDP can increase, may or may not rise during an accounting year. Okay, when there is no increase in the flow of good and services, still there will be increase in the nominal GDP. Okay, but real GDP only increase when there is more production of goods and services. Okay, let me understand with the help of further slide. Okay, in this slide, 2015 has been considered as a base year price. It's taken as a base year price. In the base year price, total 1000 bread has been produced. the price of 1 unit bread is 10 rupees, okay, and in this way the nominal GDP is equal to 10,000 and real GDP is also 10,000. Why? Because we had taken 2015 as a base year. Okay, now we are going to compare this 2015, the base year price, with the 2016 and 2017. Okay, let 2016. In 2016, bread is again produced 1,000, but price has increased. Actually it has doubled, and because of that the nominal GDP, our GDP at current price, has doubled. From 10,000 it become 20,000. Okay, but when we calculated real GDP, it is still 10,000. It's mean there, when there is no increase in production of goods, still there is increase in nominal GDP, but real GDP only increases when there will be increase in production of goods and services. That is why when we calculated nominal GDP of 2016, it become from 10,000 to 20,000. Why? Because price has doubled, 10 to 20. So that is why GDP, yeah, nominal GDP has increased from 10,000 to 20,000. But when we calculated real GDP, it is still 10,000. Why? Because there is no increase in production of bread. Now take the next example. Next year is 2017. Here we can see increase in production of bread also. And if you compare with the price of bread with the 2015, so there is increase in the price of bread also in 2017. Okay, so when we calculate nominal GDP, so nominal GDP 18,000. Okay, and when we calculate real GDP, it is 12,000. So we can see there is increase in real GDP also. Here is no change because production has not changed, but here production has increased from 1,000 to 12,000, means there is increase of 200. So that is why there is increase in real GDP. So you can understand what is the importance of real GDP. Let we understand in more better way with here in the slide. Okay, here you can see कि 2015 is a base year. In base year price is 10 rupees, total production is 1,000. So nominal and real GDP both is same because it is a base year. So GDP is 10,000. When we are going to compare it with 2016, so in 2016 there is production of 1,000 bread only. There is no increase in the production of bread, but price has increased from 10 to 20, and because of this nominal GDP increases from 10,000 to 20,000. But when we calculated real GDP or real GDP, in real GDP we are going to take the price of base year, means we are going to take the price of 2015 and that price is 10 rupees. So real GDP of 2016 and 2015 is same. Why? Because production is same. Now take the 2017. In 2017 when we compare with 2015, here we can see that price and quantity both had increased. Price become 10 to 15 and quantity 1,000 to 1,200. Okay, so because of that here we can see कि nominal GDP has increased as 18,000 and real GDP also increases as 12,000. Okay, so in 2016 real GDP has increased. Why? Because production has increased from 1,000 to 12,000. That is why there is increase in real GDP. But here real GDP is same in 2015 also and in 2016 also. Okay, now it is very very important from board point of view, so note down in your copy also and learn it properly. Okay, what is the difference between GDP at current price and GDP at constant price? So GDP at current price is known as a real GDP, okay student, and it is known as a nominal. Already it is written here. Okay, sorry. Okay, student. GDP at current price. GDP at current price is known as a nominal GDP, and GDP at constant price is taken as a real GDP. So it is nominal GDP and it is real GDP. Okay. So in nominal GDP we are going to consider current year price, and in real GDP our constant we are going to take base year price. Okay. Here this point is very important. Nominal GDP can increase if price level rise. Okay. Even when there is no increase in the flow of goods and services. On the other hand, real GDP is only going to be increased when there is increase in the production of goods and services. So this second point is very very important. Okay. So that is why this is the reason ki it is not considered a good measure of welfare. On the other hand, real GDP, our GDP at constant price, is considered as a good measure of welfare. So learn it properly. It is very important for your board examination. Okay, here I had written more point why real GDP is taken as a better indicator in compared to nominal. Okay, so first point is that कि real GDP truly represent the real change in physical output. It's mean that कि increase in real GDP is only possible when there is increase in quantity. Okay. Now second is it is useful in estimating real growth of economy. So only with the help of real GDP we are able to understand that there is increase in production of goods and services or not. Okay. Next, real GDP eliminate the effect of change in the price. It is very important point. Why real GDP is better indicator? Because it eliminate the effect of change in price. Why? Because we always consider base year price in real GDP. Okay, student. Now, real GDP enables us to make a year-to-year compare of changes in the quantity of output of goods and services. Okay, so here we can use again that table that I had used here. Okay, student, this table you can make use again. Now, next topic, GDP deflator. What is GDP deflator? It refers to the ratio between GDP at current price and GDP at constant price. It is expressed as GDP at current price upon GDP at constant price multiply 100. Otherwise, we can write it as nominal GDP upon real GDP multiply 100. Here one question is given, if real GDP is equal to 600 and nominal GDP is equal to 660, so what will be the value of GDP deflator? When we put all the value, we get 110. It's mean that general price level has been increased by 10%. In 11th class, when I had teased you the last chapter index number, then I had told you index number. Okay, so what equation we use in simple aggregate method? P1 upon P0 multiply 100. So same, this is the same. Nominal GDP यानी present year price, real GDP यानी P0, base year price multiply 100. So that is why GDP deflator and price index are both the thing. Okay, question. There are two questions I had given you as a homework. Attempt it. In the next video I will give answer of these questions. Okay, now the last topic, GDP and welfare. It is very very important for your CBSE board examination. Okay, most of the time 1 or 2 question asked from here. Okay, so prepare it properly because it is very important. Okay, let me start. First point is given here, distribution of income. Okay, so distribution of income are two types. Okay, even otherwise uneven. If there is even distribution of income, then social welfare will increase. Okay, student. But if there is uneven, then social welfare is going to be decreased. What we mean by uneven distribution of income, it's mean that richer section is going to be more rich and poor section is going to be more poor. That condition we find in India. Like Mukesh Ambani, he is the one of the richest, he is one of the richest person of the world. But on the other hand, 21% people are living under the BPL. It's mean they are not able to fulfill their basic requirement like food, shelter, clothing, nursing, education. They have to depend it upon the government. Okay, so where in any country where is uneven distribution of income, then GDP is not going to be true indicator of social welfare. Actually, increasing GDP is not going to increase the social welfare. Okay, like in our country. Now, second topic is composition of GDP. So in 11th class in microeconomics, you had learned about the three central problem: what to produce. So what to produce is related to type of goods. So there are basically two type of goods: peace goods and war goods. If suppose in an economy there are more production of goods and services, but type of goods is defense goods are war goods, so in this case there is not going to be increase in social welfare. If there is more production of defense good or war goods, it means social welfare is going to be decrease, it is not going to be increase. So composition, GDP, increase in GDP is not going to explain the composition of GDP. If there is more production of war goods, it means there will be less social welfare. Okay, now next point is non-monetary transaction. So first of all, its meaning. So it refers to the goods and services produced but not exchanged through money. Second meaning, economic activity that are not marketed and not evaluated in monetary terms are called non-market transaction or non-monetary exchange. Okay, so non-monetary transaction actually underestimate GDP, and because of that again GDP is not going to be true indicator. How it is happening, so we are going to learn it properly in this slide. Here are some example of non-monetary exchange. Service rendered by housewife to the family member, doing painting for one's own drawing room, repairing own electric appliances or household furniture, teacher teaching his own son, or doctor giving treatment to his own mother, vegetable grown in kitchen garden, etc. Okay, so most familiar example is service of housewife. In your own family, your mother do lot of work from morning to till night, but nothing is paid in return. Okay, your father is not going to make any payment. So in this way, whatever service is done by your mother, that is not estimated in calculation of GDP. In this way, we are going to underestimate the GDP. In this way, GDP is not going to be true indicator of social welfare. Okay, here is given कि all barter exchanges which take place in the informal sector without the help of the money are not registered as a part of economic activity, since these barter exchange are not included in the GDP. So this underestimation of GDP, and because of that GDP is not considered. Okay, now next topic is externalities. What do you mean by externalities? Externalities refers to good and bad impact of economic activity without paying the price or penalty for that. Okay, so what we mean by externalities? So when we are doing when the production sector is doing the production of goods and services, so they are degrading the life quality. Okay, how there are too much pollution, every type of pollution, soil pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, air pollution, but in return they are not going to pay any penalty. Okay, many people's health are affected because of these production unit, but they are not going to pay any penalty. So these type of penalty, we are not matlab, these type of production work and their impact, they are not considered. So these are known as a externalities, negative externalities. On the other hand, suppose you are doing gardening, so because of this gardening, other people, our neighbor feels good, they feel pleasure when they are seeing their garden. Okay, and it give good atmosphere, good environment, it increases the life quality also. But you are not going to any payment in return. Okay, so any deed, because of that, other people, or third people, is going to be harmed, but that first person is not going to pay any penalty. On the other hand, if a person is going to do anything, because of that the third person is going to be benefited, but the first person is not going to get anything in return, any monetary or any benefit in return. Okay, so such type of activity is known as a externalities. Okay, the best way, learn this first line. Okay, now let me understand positive. So here I had written the meaning of positive externalities: when consuming or producing a good causes a benefit to a third party, then it is known as a positive externalities. Suppose you are doing gardening, it give pleasure to neighbors also, but they are not going to pay anything in return. So this is positive externalities. There are some more example: construction of a flyover. When there is a construction of flyover, so people easily move from one place to another place. It take less time. Okay, so it is a time saving. Public park, so public park give environment, smoothing environment. Okay, driving an electric car, if you purchase a electric car and drive it, so it is going to decrease the pollution, but no one is going to make any payment in return. Okay, for your these good things. Okay, now negative externalities: when consuming or producing a good causes a cost to a third party, then it is known as a negative externalities. Example: steel plant, smoking, drinking alcohol, playing loud music. Okay, so if someone is smoking, so third person may be not going to feel good. Okay, maybe she is pregnant lady, so it is not good for her baby also. In second case, suppose a person is drinking and also driving, so maybe there will be some dangerous accident, and it is going to take someone's life also. Playing loud music, maybe may someone not like small children don't feel good when there is loud music, or old age person, they don't feel good when there is loud music. So these type of activities are considered as a negative externalities, because other person is going to feel bad. If you are doing something, someone is going to feel good, then it is positive externalities. If you are doing something and third person is going to feel bad, it is negative externalities. In short, in economics, an externality is the cost or benefit that affect a third party who did not choose to incur the cost or benefit. Okay, thank you, student.